creatives, welcome back to my channel and day 3 of the 12 designs of Christmas. Yes, we're at day 3 and we're going to create wallpapers. So let's start with creating a artboard. Mine's 22 inches by 22 inches per specification of the vendor I'm using. So I'm right now creating a Christmas tree from the same process that I did for day 2. And it's going to be just taking the square, using the white direct selection tool, pulling up one of the points to make it look more like a triangle, duplicating that shape as you saw with Control C, Control F, or Command C, Command F if you're on a Mac, and then making the trunk out of a rectangular shape tool and putting the corresponding colors for a Christmas tree. Then I decided that I wanted a 3-tier tree, so I added another one. And to give it a bit more dimension, I wanted to put in a gradient. I chose a linear gradient for both the tree and the trunk. Just to make it like really simple, kind of basic. And I left it like that in the corner. From there, I was trying to figure out what else to do. And holly is a really like big Christmas tradition. So I just created 2 ovals, paired them at the bottom, Control C, Control F, for paste in place of the same one, just widened the angle out on the bottom part of it. I was trying to choose between 2 different green colors, what would look best, and I think the light one looks better, to be honest. So I wanted some variation in color here. I went on to do this stocking. The stocking is just going to be red, made up of a rectangle and a circle, and I pathfinded them together. Super simple. Using the pen tool to create handles and soften out the edges so that they're not like sharp and stark. Using the white direct selection tool to then move around the points and also make sure that everything looks visually correct. And then to create the fuzzy part of the stocking, I just created an oval and chose the roughen under distort and transform for the effect for that so that it can look all poofy. And I just messed with the details of the points in that to make sure there was no harsh edges. Now I'm going to create some little red circles to go with the holly berries because I wanted to be more of like a abstract, different take on holly. I made it a little bit smaller because holly's really tiny compared to the other 2 items, like just in nature. And now I'm going to see how I want this set up. I think this kind of like triangle is kind of good for the pattern, where for the placement. And I just duplicated the original 3 to make a pattern. So I'm just duplicating and duplicating to create a consistent pattern across the artboard here. And mind you, I did purposefully make the stocking and the holly off center from each other. I know that may bother some people, but a lot of wrapping paper, not everything is centered or square. So I wanted to make this a little bit offset, a little bit helter-skelter, if you will. And that way it looks more of like a pattern and not like it's just like stark. Then I decided to go ahead and do a second design. So I started with my same size artboard with a nice deep moody blue kind of color for the background. And I'm going to make a snowflake. The snowflake I started off with circles and I just pathfinded and minus front the circles for the center, and then I duplicated that for the second circle so it looks like you have rings. I'm creating the legs, I guess you can call them, of the snowflake, where I just used the rectangular tool and I pathfinded all those together to make it look like a nice spiky snowflake. And now I'm going to duplicate one of the legs around the snowflake circles there, as you saw. That's called rotating on a shape. So I just went ahead and did that at a 35-degree angle, I believe I chose. And that way it creates a whole snowflake. I just grouped all the pieces together, and now I'm duplicating all the snowflakes to make a pattern. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have made it so square like this, but hey, you know, it's my first time making wrapping paper. So you're going to see me do a whole like speed through montage of me trying to figure out how I want this all placed. So I tried a lot of different techniques. I used the alignment toolbox. This is basically me just trying to figure out what to do with a pattern here. Patterns are not as easy as one would think. They're actually pretty tricky to get right. And just in retrospect, I didn't fully get this one right. I should have downsized the scaling of the snowflakes a bit so that I can fit them tighter in closer together, but I didn't. Again, first time doing this. I've been out of the production game for a while, so I just decided to make everything square, and to fill in the holes, I put little snow flurries as little dots. So that is what it ended up looking like for the second wrapping paper. I hope you enjoyed this video, and join me again for day 4 of the 12 Designs of Christmas.